Hello everyone, welcome back to Old School AOT, and we have a very highly reviewed game from the forums today for you. The AOTS number is 18,000 or so, so this is a pretty old game for all of you who are wondering. So we have a matchup on Highland between a team of Anubis with Hades and the Knight of Norway Meathook with Gaia. And, of course, we have them going against a double Loki team of Storm Reaper Gigs and ACC Groni. I do not remember what ACC stood for, so if anybody remembers, feel free to leave a comment. I'd appreciate it. Alrighty. So, of course, both Meathook and Gigs are still playing off and on. So, yeah, it should be interesting to see how they do in this old school game. I know the forum comment said that both Loki players were top 20 at the time this was played, and of course our Hades and Gaia play were pretty close, so this was a pretty high-level game at the time. They're playing on Highland, which of course is quite weird in team games. You have this big sort of middle pond, so there's a lot of struggle for control over the pond usually, but then you have these side pools, so if you control the middle pond and you lose control, well, you still have the side pool sometimes. So it's often not the end of the road to lose the middle pond. Often the game can sort of stagnate, of course, because of only these two small holes. So often not quite like, but quite a different map from 1v1. You're less likely to get disrupted by a bear, for example. So this should be a good game. It was very highly reviewed. Titan Anubis, who posted the game, said that, you know, there was supposedly some crazy strategies used, so we'll have to wait and see. We see Meathook has put down his god power right by his town center to gather immediately, which is smart. You know, he's getting that extra bonus from the Gaia trees immediately, as well as cutting away any walking time, so that's smart. There's no Thor to burn it. This is a little vulnerable about here, but you really don't have any other choices in the Atlantean player. And he's getting good fishing off early. So 3 for 3 versus his Norse opponent. So they're playing double Loki, so I'd imagine the temptation to go for a rush is going to be absolutely huge. I know if I was playing, I would go for a rush, because like double Heimdall can just dominate Gaia, to put it mildly. But it should be interesting. Meathook has not moved back his cows. I hope he moves back his cows. But we do see a second sort of forest going down here, so Meathook will be establishing a defense for his gold, and I do like that. All he has to do is put down another, and it will be very hard to attack. So good start from Meathook. He seems to anticipate the possibility that he could get rushed, and he's getting prepared. It looks like Anubis is just doing a pretty slow build so far. You know, it often can take a long time to advance on this type of Highland, just due to like the fact you have to walk so far to build the dock, but you really need to build the dock, so you don't really have any choice. So anyway, we do see that the Ulfsarks from the Loki players are nearby, so especially since red is there, that indicates to me that we're going to see a temple go down very soon. Yeah, so we'll have to see. Anyway, I'm excited to see this. Again, Titan and Anubis said that they used some sort of crazy secret strategy here, so I can't wait to see what it is. Obviously, Hades has a lot to offer in terms of the secondary god choices. Taking the pigs, the cows, that's annoying. Either in terms of restore or pestilence, both which could be powerful. But I don't know why he just returned the cows to Meathook. That was a little strange. Does Meathook see his opponent's temples? Oh my gosh. Oh no. Now that is frustrating. So you can definitely see the skill of these players and that they knew how to place the temple where their opponent didn't see it, but Meathook seemed to be onto it anyway, was suspecting it. I guess he had seen them briefly. And he is trying to go for the lush trick to stop his opponent from finishing the temple. And unfortunately it doesn't quite work. So for those of you who don't know the lush trick, if you finish the building first and lush finishes, it will prevent, you get a little lush, and that will prevent your opponent from finishing the building actually, which is very, very useful. But he didn't quite get it, but still, it was definitely worth to go for it. And he is already advancing, so he should be ready for the rush. Whereas we see that Groni's a little slow, and Giggs is even slower. So this Loki rush is not particularly fast. However, it will be really high economy. So, it's hard to say what'll happen. Looks as though Meathook is going right to heroic and putting down that forest to cover. His villagers haven't spied, so the Loki team will be able to see what's going on. He does, of course, go through Lido, so that's moderately useful. Ooh, what's this? We have an armory going down, so we're going to have a fast heroic. They are probably fast heroic. That's nice. That actually could counter pretty darn well, considering he has this effectively walled off. I don't know. The unit might still be able to come through there, I'm not sure. No fighting on water going down, as everyone is just aging up right now, other than Meathook. And the first military units are coming out. We do see the lush there, so it sort of is preventing his opponent from putting the barracks in certain places, although it's not stopping them. Einers are coming right into this tower. Meathook is up in Gaia. Looks like he's not investing into towers. That's fine. I really wouldn't. You know, you'll just get undermined. It looks as though Gig saved his hunt for the rush, which is nice. Groni is still finishing it off. Building his houses here, that's a little vulnerable. I really don't like it. But I really like the Thea here, just because I don't know what they're going to do. Ooh, Pestilence, that hurts. No units for 50 seconds for our Norse rushers. So I don't know. That's tough, because now the bird is out, and what are they going to do about it? Obviously, the throwing axeman is quite weak against the Stilmathian bird, so I don't think this all-in is going to work right now. There's just too many Stilmathian birds. 2 is more than enough to repel this. So although this all-in with the double undermine, I'm not going to say it's not really powerful. It is. Is this enough to take the game? I don't know. Although they are doing quite a bit of damage to the town center, and we must remember that birds really don't damage your seer too much, but our Hades player has put down the Sentinel to try to protect it. It's very relevant at this point. Meathook repairing, and it looks like he will prevent the town center from being destroyed. It does look like. So that's a good hold by our Aranos and Gaia team, and by our Hades and Gaia team. And over here we see that Hades is pushing forward with a small army that includes a Cyclops, which will allow him to dominate these houses. So, yeah, I was a little concerned about those houses being there, and we'll probably see that in action now. So we're having one hell of a rush coming in, and, but, I don't know. Very strange, because the 2 armies are here, so they have a lot more units, so Meathook really can't come out too far. But again, they're running into the Norse problem that Norse are not too good at shooting up. And, yeah, how do they counter this bird? I don't know. Perhaps some towers would be useful, actually. They could put some towers right out here, and then they could just sort of fire into the gold or something. That could be very annoying for Meathook. And the birds certainly don't counter towers, not at all. But at the same time, Groni's certainly going to have to get towers or something, because this army, once it kills the houses, is going to be harassing him. And that will hurt. Strangely enough, it doesn't look like there's any sort of fighting going down on water. Players are so preoccupied with land. And, well, despite having the air advantage, our local players are trying to force the rush, making throwing axemen, and some value being made from those spider mines. And it's interesting, you know, they can't kill the birds, but they can kill all the units on the ground. So that seems to be the strategy. Alright, we're just going to trash the units on the ground, and we don't care if you're going to shoot us with the birds, because we're just going to kill all your ground units. So interesting strategy. And I'd imagine he will kill that Cairo Ballista off. No, he won't. But must not have been interesting. I'm surprised he didn't. That Cairo Ballista is very high value against Tertier. It's always worth it to kill them. But anyway, this raiding is now going on. And Groni has upgraded his towers, running out of gold, so he is at least somewhat defended against this. Although he might need to make a Herseer or two just to stop this annoyance and wall his towers. But Green won't be able to just completely destroy him because of that. Oh, make it Ulfsarks. They train fast, at least. And now we're getting who I was thinking about. We're getting towers, so this is probably the smart play because well, birds are a pain. You know, how'd you beat them? I don't know. In classical, ooh, particularly before they buffed the axe at Boost Belt, the TA really hardly did anything. And it appears that the birds did die somehow because I do not see the birds. So they must have died at some point, or are they? Oh no, here they are. Okay, they're flying around, so the birds are going for a raid. Excuse me. So Meathook is actually really vulnerable right now, and fortunately he's walling up and getting these Cairo to cover for the fact that his birds are going for a raid. And this will hurt if it's done right, although having these towers really helps Groni out a lot. I'm actually surprised that Meathook is not going for blue, considering that he knows that Groni's towers are already up, but maybe he just wants to try to take red out of the game effectively. Certainly Groni's economy is going down quite a bit, and Giggs has taken this forward town center, so they do seem to be committing to this rush, I would say. And we're now seeing battle going down, quite a few boats by Anubis, so he's gaining control over the water. This raid didn't seem to do too much. Looks like he killed a villa or two and then just backed out because of the towers. So we may be seeing these birds go somewhere else, I'd imagine. Einers are coming in, they need to back off, they're not being watched, because they're just going to die. Oh, we don't want to just lose Einers for no reason. That's unfortunate. Oh well. So the birds are flying back over the big old pond, and Giggs has been mostly pushed off water. And Anubis really has Groni pretty contained at this point, and he's making a small army. But, I don't know. It's not great. Anubis coming up with a second town center. So our Hades player will be getting a very nice boom on. Anyway, we see raiders coming over in there. They're killing this villager from the wood. They should be able to kill it. That shouldn't escape. And what's going on here? Seems like Giggs is sending some raiders over to help his ally or something, because Groni is really under extreme pressure right now from Anubis. Oof. The birds extracting incredible value from Meathook. This big army is just sort of standing in here defending the town center. That's okay. Meanwhile, it looks like Giggs' army is just going around trying to go to support his ally. Can't really blame him. His ally does look to be in quite a bit of trouble. He can't mine gold right now, so he does need help. So this probably is the correct call. Unfortunately, this happens a lot when you have a rush that fails. You just put so much into an all-in rush. And then when it fails, like, it's definitely your game to win at that point. You know, you have to work really hard to win the game. Just because you're behind, you've invested all this resource into this rush that didn't work. So yeah. However, Giggs is getting pretty boomed out. Let's look at Groni. Groni, on the other hand, is looking very anemic. The only resource he really has a lot of is gold, but he does have a lot of that. But on the other hand, all these towers here effectively do have Meathook contained too, and he will not be expanding there anytime soon, which means for the foreseeable future he will not be able to go to more than 2 town centers. So very, very interesting. We do see the raiders coming down here, and the full army from Giggs, so he will be preventing Anubis from knocking out Groni, and give Groni a chance to get back in the game. And Groni is, interestingly enough, just producing a whole lot of dwarves. I would like to see one of them dock this back area. I'm surprised, or this side area. I'm surprised it hasn't been done. I feel like if Groni had docked the side areas, he would actually like be in a much better position right now. So definitely, if you do ever play this map, try to dock the sides. It's worth it. I know almost nobody plays it anymore, but you know, if it ever just comes up by accident. So yeah, Groni really needs to establish a food economy, or he's going to be in trouble, and I don't think auto-queuing dwarves to gold is the way to do it. Unfortunately. That throwing axeman is one dead man. The Greek heroes are over here, which is just sort of clever in case there's any sort of Einherjar stuff going on, but there's not. We have both Giggs and Anubis advancing with Underworld Passage and Flaming Weapons, respectively. So both very strong god powers. Underworld Passage being put down, where is that connected to? Is that connected to Meathook? Yes, it is. So I guess this will allow him to reinforce Meathook, or reinforce each other very easily if they need to. Although this Underworld Passage is right next to Giggs, so I don't know. We do see Anubis going for the water there, which will allow him to intensify his advantage on water. Now Giggs will come in for the pastures, but I don't think he'll be able to take out the passage. There's just too much military there, and Meathook can just come right through the passage. So maybe that passage is better than I initially felt it was, so never mind there. Do see Giggs getting ready to take a 3rd and a 4th town center, so wow, he's going to go for a massive economic boom, I imagine, to try to help his ally Groni, who's still on 1 town center, although he's taking a 2nd town center with only 5 on food. So I still don't know about this. I feel like the primary reason they're losing the game right now is because Groni's economy management is really like dumpster tier, honestly. So that's unfortunate. He must have went on tilt a little bit after the rush failed, more so than Giggs. And you can't really blame him, considering the pressure he came under from Anubis. It's always easy to look at a game and be like, oh, this player's doing so bad, but playing under pressure can be very tough. So, you know, just keep that in mind. So, 4 town centers up for Giggs, so we're seeing a massive economic boom, building gatherers from all 4 town centers. So as we can see, due to this, Giggs is surging into 1st place on the score. His economy is getting massively big. And his military ups are not bad either. Let's see what's going on with Meathook. He actually, yep, there he goes, going up with Kate. So we will be getting Tartarian Gate. No masons or architects or anything though yet. Anubis actually could go Mythic, but he doesn't have a market. If he goes Mythic and drops an Earthquake, I think that's a good game. Or I could just drop it here and just allow Meathook to press forward again. That might be the smart play too. But this Underworld Passage is very nice. It's allowing them to fight where their opponents are weak, as opposed to Meathook having to commit to sort of pushing through this nightmare. I mean, look how strong these watchtowers were back there, and now they've like made them even better. Essentially, because Safeguard is now upping not just that, but everything else. But, you know, on this little patch, Safeguard did not upgrade building HP, so you're not seeing that here. I think they have Safeguard, I presume they do. Ooh, Giggs does not have safeguards. Okay. Only Groni does. So yeah, safeguards very much worth it if you're going to be reducing towers as Heimdall. I'd always advise it. Anyway, we have this scary-looking Greek and Atlantean army here. And there we go. Our Greek player is going up with Artemis. Now, let's check out how our friend Groni is doing. Oh no. Oh. That right there is like the nightmare of every Norse player. The flying units come and just kill your units. And you don't have anything that shoots up. So right here, the Norse team is staying in it for now, basically with buildings. But it is interesting to note that the game looks relatively even. 6 TCs versus 6 TCs. One player being stronger than the other. And yeah. Interesting. Similar scores too. Although, Groni is unfortunately falling behind. The Tarian Gate coming down and taking out these hill forts. That's very annoying. Let's just check economy. We see that Giggs has been tributing his ally a little bit, which is very smart. His ally really needs it. And look how huge his economy is compared to anybody else. Wow. And just look at that economy, wow. That's a 4-town center boom, boys. But despite that, it doesn't seem that Giggs' army is enough to single-handedly take on both of his opponents. And he is going to try to make a play for the Underworld Passage, and he is doing some serious damage to it with all of these 3 portable rams. So let's see if he's able to damage it enough, but it doesn't seem quite enough, and that's unfortunate. Anubis will now be dropping Earthquake on Groni any moment, I can imagine, so have to wait and see. Red is still maintaining a foothold on water, and these ships have been idle, which is not great. Easy to do though. Anubis should delete them, but I'd imagine he's focusing on the fight. These birds are still alive. Incredible value being extracted from the birds. Happens a lot when Norse can't shoot up. It just happens a lot. And ouch, I feel Groni's pain. That is painful, bruh. Just like getting smacked in the face with a 10-foot pole. Anyway, trade going, but now it isn't going. Well, it still is. And Groni is advancing, but he just has like nothing. So let's see what Giggs has. So really, Giggs needs to send him all his wood right now, desperately, if there's going to be any hope of Groni rebuilding and staying in the game. But I think he's been set behind too much at this point. But you never know, because looking at Giggs' economy, he was really strong. And if they could set up some sort of push over on this side, they could really start to turn the game around and draw Meathook back to his side, which could perhaps help out. And we're seeing Meathook's wall being killed. Giggs is still building to defend his ally, and let's just check resources tributed. So yes, there has been some more tributing. However, I really would like to have seen him tribute a whole bunch of wood after Earthquake. I think he might have tributed some, but I don't know. Just look at this. You know, he could just help his ally get right back on his feet. So tributing is always a really huge thing to do, and people don't do it enough. I think it can oftentimes in skill games be the difference between winning and losing. If the players are around your level, you know. So yeah, I'm impressed so far. Been a very interesting game. And it's really impressive how Giggs is managing to keep his team in the game, despite the fact that Groni is clearly just really far behind objectively. On the other hand, he does have one thing really going for them, our Loki team, which is that our Greek players don't have that much siege yet, only this Helopolis, so at least there's a possibility he could linger for a little longer, but I don't know, this army is just so goddamn big. It's just so big. Such a big army. It looks as though that Boar was hit with this guy. the Lampades. So nice Lampades from Meathook, I gotta say. Just a good little trick. Lampades micro is something that I think really defines the Lanian players, as weird as that sounds. As you'll see, good Lanian players just extract ridiculous amounts of value from their Argus or their Lampades, and it might not make a huge difference, but it really does. And you see Meathook has immediately repeated that Lampades to a very safe place, so he's very cognizant of that. And we're going to get a tight engage coming out from Meathook. So Giggs, I have to say, is just strong as shit. I mean, his ally may be mostly dead, but Giggs is jacked, going up with tier and just thousands in the bank. And let's see if he's been tripping Groni anymore. No, he hasn't, so it would really help if he was tributing Groni a little bit more. But obviously Groni's in a very tough situation anyway, so we do get the Titan Gate coming down, but I don't think Meathook knows that Giggs is about to go with tier, and we're going to be getting the Fimbulwinter any second now. I'd imagine he's just going to jam it, yes. So that, Meathook gets really unlucky. That could actually kill the Titan Gate. Anubis sending him wood. So good communication there. But oh my god, will they actually kill that Titan Gate? Oh no, they won't. It seems that the Fimbulwinter Wolves prioritize targeting the town center over the Titan Gate. Which is interesting and very, very fortunate for Meathook, because there certainly would have been enough wolves there to kill the Titan Gate, so score 1 for Wolf AI for Meathook, I guess. But nonetheless, that did seem to hurt quite a bit, damaged Meathook's economy, and damaged Anubis' economy too. Anubis is 180, but as we see, his economy is nowhere near as good as Giggs, who is just jacked, like, you know, all the 400, 800 pound gorilla. And so Giggs is just so big that, like, seems to be able to hold on for the time being, despite this really, you know, jacked out Greek player. Like, oh my god, look at those archer upgrades. Woo! It's got the Bow of Horror, the Sunray, Champion. Ouch. These raids are very painful. Giggs is not paying attention to them and he needs to react, as does Groni. On the other hand, losing that Stomatian bird isn't great either. But yeah, very, very nasty. Any Norse player knows how awful that is when that happens. This gate is actually a little exposed. I feel like tier wolves could have just come around there and killed it if he got enough, but he probably doesn't have enough at this point. Though he is making them, so we'll have to see. For now, the town center has been stopped, although I imagine once villagers come up, it will be finished. We see Groni coming in here with line of sight, so do we have, no. Interestingly, flaming weapons is still up for both Norse players. So they haven't been able to do much at this point, but we're getting push continuing to come in. They're pushing back on Meathook now because of the Titan Gate. And so this is like sort of a slow push, but I don't know. I don't think they'll be able to reach the Titan. Ooh, what is... Ooh, good thing I didn't quite say that, because I might eat these words. We're having a full swag of Ulsarks coming in, and they're quite upgraded. Granted, they don't have the Bragi or Forseti techs, of course, but they're still pretty strong. So this will delay the gate. Oh, getting a little troll trees down there just to give them a few extra seconds. I like it. I do not think this will be enough to kill the gate though, but you know, we'll delay it. So Green has taken the town center, so he is on 5 town centers. So the advantage town center wise will now be moving to the Meathook team. Ew, and the town center goes down, and that's doing a lot of damage. Probably not enough, but he's killing villagers. He's really slowed down the gate. So all in all, not the worst, I must say. Fighting the heroes now up front. Just continuing to fight over here. But the gate did survive, so well played by Meathook to resist that attempted pressure. Didn't look quite strong enough, but it was nonetheless a good try. And we see the Giggs has refocused to this side, and he is going to try to break this town center. And this is nice upgrades. Masons plus fortified town center for Hades. Plus, of course, just the Hades building bonus. So you see this building in the town center is getting an additional nearly 2,000 hit points. That's absurd. Anyway, we see these units are just like scratching the town center, so oosh. Still Matthew bird coming in to help defend. Still getting value from that bird. Meathook is actually getting quite weak himself because that attack killed a lot of villagers, and that was a lot of Meathook's economy, actually. So, getting this Titan will be very important for him, just because his economy has become weak too. Groni has managed to stabilize on one town center, which is impressive, considering everything. And we see that Giggs is tributing him big time, so that's very good. And, oh yeah, Giggs has really been tributing him. That's really good, because Giggs has to be Groni's economy in this situation. Groni could actually age up right now. Oh no, he's building the market to age up. And that push has been repelled just by a swag of units from our Greek player. Titan is almost up, but Giggs is countering with his own Titan, and we're seeing the rarely seen Loki Titan. You know it's a strange and unusual game when you see the Loki Titan, right? Like, I feel like Loki goes Titan in less than 1% of all games. So when you see the Loki Titan, you know that it's a good game, and an unusual one. So Giggs isn't giving in, he's like, fuck your Titan, bro, I'm just gonna make my own Titan. And if you don't like it, like, suck it. But now the Meathook Titan is out, and I don't know, I think he can get there in time. I almost never go Titan, so I'm really bad at judging time, so I don't know, maybe it actually will get up. I'm certain that Giggs could probably delay the Titan and allow his own gate to get up, though. For sure. 100%. So unfortunately, Groni is getting pushed in here, and he's trying to valiantly hold, but there just isn't that much. And I don't really even know if Hell's going to do it. I feel like another Thimble winner actually would have benefited him more. You know, with damage Meathook again, damage Meathook's economy again, and damage Anubis' economy again, which really isn't that strong. It seems that he hasn't invested in farms, which means his food is really low. So sort of some players in not investing in farms from Anubis, despite his top score, still could be doing a few things better, but hey. It's pretty much every game I play, so nothing critical there, boys. And we will answer the question of whether the gate will finish or not in 1 second. And 93, yes, it will finish. So I bet Meathook is just going, oh no, so close. And yeah, it's like I didn't quite made it. I'm gonna back off. No regeneration or celerity yet. I'm surprised. Meathook should try to get those if he can, especially since the Nidhogg will be attacking his Titan now. Nidhogg actually does a fair amount of damage to Titan due to dealing 40 crush damage. Not a ton, but he damages him. You know it adds up. So Groni has been pushed off the town center, and it seems like Anubis is trying to start his own gate now to secure the game. And there we have the regenerating tidying up, Mythic rejuvenation, a wonderful technology for our Aranos player. Excuse me, our Gaia player. So poor Groni is just on the defensive at this point, and Giggs is still up town center wise, and he has his Titan, but I don't know. It's going to be. He's really going to have to wipe out Meathook right now if he's going to win this game. Like, if he can go and wipe out Meathook, just take out the Titan and take Meathook out, I feel like he can win this game. But if he can't, like, if this business somehow, then Anubis is almost going to certainly carry the game. So I don't know, the game is getting close to its final stages. How the next few minutes go are going to determine things. And the Norse Titan got in the first 3 hit, which is nice. So a small little bit of a micro error there, but on the other hand, he is outnumbered, so it really wouldn't have made a huge difference anyway. You see that the advantage of having the Nidhogg, the Fire Giant, and all these units is really giving the advantage to the Norse Titan in this fight, so Meathook will soon be in huge amounts of trouble once that Titan dies, which will be any minute now. But Anubis is a full 200 population, so that's something. We see that Gig is still trying to sort of skirmish on the left, despite being all in on the right. That's very interesting. So now the Titan's going to go, and I think he should probably break. Well, Meathook is going for heroes, which normally isn't that effective, but since this Titan is already low, it might not be the worst idea ever. Though I don't know, expensive Landian heroes, never my favorite. Thinking Landian is just absolute junk at fighting the Titan. Nice resource transfer there to help Meathook aboard the heroes. So yeah, this has been a very, very interesting game on a map that nobody sees anymore. So hopefully, it might be enjoyable for some people. It seems that some people are actually missing Highland now, but it shocks me because it used to be the map that everyone would complain about. But hey, you know, I guess nostalgia makes the heart grow fonder. I don't know. Fire Giant raping Kairos. And there goes Meathook's town center, so he will not be in a great position. However, the Titan Gate by Anubis is shortly finishing up, and I think that should really help them out once their Titan comes out, because he will be able to fight Giggs on this side, as well as send out his Titan off to finish off Blue's Titan. And then with Meathook's army, they should be able to come into this position and finally reconquer the town center belonging to Giggs. It was originally Meathook, so yes, I think our Hades Gaia game has Gaia team, excuse me, has most likely got this game into the bag, ladies and gentlemen. So nice. The push is continuing to come in. And the Titan is having to retreat from those 2 heroes, which is hilarious, because it's so low HP. So yeah, I don't see how Giggs can win at this point. So anyway, just fast play the rest of this game. There's not too much is going on. I believe we'll be getting a resign soon. It's pretty much turned into a 2v1. Titan, of course, dying, and now that the Titan comes out, oh god, excuse me. So that's where the Titan was going. Good thing I didn't fast forward past that, but it didn't matter anyway. The Titan was killed before it could do much of anything, so yeah. Really, with 800 HP, it was just a matter of time till all those heroes killed it. So yes, I'd imagine as soon as this Titan pops, we'll be getting the GG called from our Norse players. But they definitely resisted quite nicely, and went for an interesting rush. I think it may just have been a little too late for what they were trying to do. And here comes the Titan Gate, so yes, I'd imagine we will be seeing, yes, resign number 1, resign number 2. So good game, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this game. And yeah, thought it would be cool to do some 2v2s. So we'll be coming up with some more 2v2s, and please, tune back in to Old School AOT for more good old games.